Trump tariffs.
Oof, it's hectic and very unpredictable.
Very unpredictable. And I think that's going to be the key consistent takeaway, that unpredictability has become the order of the day with this administration. So the guy wakes up, he's got his list, he brings everyone to the White House. Lesotho, 50% tariffs. He was very angry at Lesotho. It's a small nation, you know what I mean? And it's crazy. Lesotho makes a lot of, textiles, a lot of jeans and stuff like that. But it is a relatively small nation.
Tiny.
To bear such a burden, it's ridiculous. But anyway, he keeps on going. You remember when he looks at South Africa, oh, South Africa. And then he goes on with those tariffs. Zimbabwe, 18% tariffs. Of course, Zimbabwe, in all their courage and stature, immediately decided to remove all tariffs on U.S. goods. Because,
sometimes you have to placate the monster, although I don't know if that is the best strategy in this case.
Especially because I feel like it undermined a potential regional response.
Not only that, Ashwin, also it seems that Trump is doing this in order to bring countries to the negotiating table.
Yes.
And if you go to the negotiating table, you should have something to negotiate with. But now, if you've already removed all the tariffs on U.S. goods, what do you have left to offer?
And to be honest, I know what they were going for. Let's just be honest. Let's be honest, Zimbabwe. This was about trying to get the sanctions removed. Not how it works with this guy. In case you're wondering, not how it works. But yes, you know what? You take that off the negotiating table, you have nothing. All right. And let's talk about this methodology. That's where you start off with the tariffs and then you expect countries to crawl to you. In fact, after you put the 90-day pause, Trump said at an event, countries were calling him and kissing his behind, expletive. You know what I mean? It is so brazen in his approach. And it's interesting to see how everything is unfolding, because it doesn't seem like every country is calling in for a deal.
Yes, particularly not China. And how that is escalating is quite worrisome, I think, for the whole world, because we are in an age of globalization. And globalization entails that the bonds and connections between countries are leveraged for trade. So now what do we say here in Africa? If the two elephants are fighting,
the grass suffers.
The grass suffers.
Yeah.
And these two elephants are definitely fighting. It's an escalation, tit for tat. We saw earlier that Trump imposed, 145% tariffs on China, and China imposed 125% tariffs on America. And now the latest, which is even more astronomical.
Is that 245%?
245%.
I mean, look, China had already decided at 125 they're not going to increase. It's just become folly. It's, to them it's pointless now. It's just showmanship, so to speak. 245%. Trump had apparently his administration had been asking Xi Jinping to call Trump. So let's talk about the disillusionment which I feel Trump is bound to go through, that he is experiencing right now. Number one, he already knows China will not bow. That is a final statement. They have been very clear on that. He knows they will not bow to him. They will not allow him to bully them. And he's also learning, oddly, how much America depends on China. Because then he makes these little exceptions for his Apple billionaires. The phones are going to cost the same, the laptops, we're going to, have some relief over there. But, when the bond markets are crying, when the stock exchange is crying, then he tries, to tweak and respond. And some people are alleging some insider trading, because just before the pause, he did say now is a good time to invest. And of course, those are all things to consider.